Topping the news tonight, debate on the constitutional reform bill for Tobago is expected as early as the second week in January next year. The announcement came from Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar in Tobago yesterday. Charlene Lewis has more.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says the time has come for Tobago to have greater autonomy, and a constitutional reform bill, she adds, will seek to do just that. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar says the bill gives the Tobago House of Assembly increased powers and a level of autonomy needed to manage the affairs of Tobagonians. She was speaking to the media following a toy distribution drive at the Dwight York Stadium in Tobago on Thursday evening.
There are 3 issues still to be resolved, but most of it has been finalized and approved. My intention is to have it laid in the Parliament by the second week of January, have it debated, the debate to start, and then for it to go to a joint select committee. As you know, it requires a special majority vote.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said promises for constitutional reform for the island were made previously, but were never kept.
The time has long gone when Tobago needs to have internal self-government. Promises have been made from time to time, they have not been kept. When I had conversations here in Tobago and in Trinidad in 2010, this was one of the pillars of change that I spoke of, and we will push it forward.
And the Prime Minister said she hoped that as a Tobagonian, opposition leader Dr. Keith Rowley would support the bill.
We would hope that all members of Parliament would see it fit to give Tobago the recognition that Tobago deserves by supporting the bill. And by putting it in the Joint Select Committee, if there are issues that some are not comfortable with, it will allow persons to voice their views and that we could come to a consensus opinion. So I would hope that the opposition MPs would support it, especially since the leader of the opposition is from Tobago himself.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said the constitutional reform bill for Tobago will give the island the kind of recognition and respect it needs. Charlene Lewis, C News.
Glad you can join us on this Christmas Eve edition of the C Sport Report, where the great battle of the Northernites versus the Southernites turned out into, well, a big flop, as it turned out into a one-sided affair, as the North looked ready from the first ball, while the South, well, they took a while to get started, and it cost them. Well, Roskin Mark says the North openers set the tone, and the South were playing catch-up in this one from the very early in the contest.